Good morning, students. Say your prayer. Thank you. நான் ஒரு நல்லாசிரியர். நான் உங்களுக்கு தாயாகவும் தந்தையாகவும் இருந்து முறையாக அன்போடு கல்வியை போதிப்பேன். நான் ஒரு நல்லாசிரியர். நான் உங்களுக்கு தாயாகவும் தந்தையாகவும் இருந்து முறையாக அன்போடு கல்வியை போதிப்பேன். நான் ஒரு நல்லாசிரியர். நான் உங்களுக்கு தாயாகவும் தந்தையாகவும் இருந்து முறையாக அன்போடு கல்வியை போதிப்பேன். Okay, students, take your social science book and come to page number 192. So today we will move to geography, hydrosphere, unit 4. So previous class we discussed about fourth lesson in history. So we discussed about what we discussed in fourth lesson in history. Intellectual awakening and socio-political changes. So especially during 6th century BC. So what are the changes that took place in world in 6th century BC? So 6th century BC saw a number of thinkers, so intellectual thinkers and religious farmers. So new religion originate. So new religion born during 6th century. So in China, so the thinkers like, so the intellectual thinkers like Confucius, Lao Tse, so spread their ideas. Then in India, it was Lord Mahavira and Lord Buddha. So Jainism and Buddhism so emerged. And at the same time in Persia, a religious arose. So that is Zoroastrianism. So we have discussed various religion and also the rise of kingdoms in India. So we discussed about the 16 Mahajanapadas and also the rise of Mauryan Empire. So how Mauryans established their empire in India, and finally about their administrative system, so political and administrative system of Mauryans. So we have discussed in history. So today's class we will move to geography, so that is hydrosphere. So in geography, in previous 3 lessons, so we discussed in first 2 lessons we discussed about landform. So how the different landforms formed. So lithosphere. Then in third lesson we discussed about atmosphere. So the air that surrounds the earth is called as atmosphere. So we discussed about atmosphere layers and all. In today's class, in this lesson, hydrosphere. So hydro means related with water. So we discuss about the water body of the earth. So the total surface, land surface of the earth. So 1/3 only land. So remaining 2/3 was surrounded by ocean. So earth is the water planet. So no other planet in the solar system contains water. So there are researches going on about Mars. So they are telling millions of years ago there is water body in Mars. But at present there is no water body. So the only planet that contains water body and a living organism is our earth only. Okay, so we discuss about the hydrosphere in this class. Learning objectives. So what are you going to learn from this lesson? First, to understand the importance of water. So to understand the importance of water. So water is very important. So you can live without eating food for some days. But can you live without water and air for 2 days? Without air you can't live just for 1 minute. Then without water you can't live without a day. So water is very important. Then to learn about the nature, uses and distribution of fresh and salt water. To learn about the nature, uses and distribution of fresh and salt water. So water is classified as fresh water and salt water. So fresh water can be consumed by human beings. But salt water it can't be consumed directly. So because it is salty in nature. Then to understand the relief features of the ocean floor. So as like in the land surface, in ocean also you can find various geographical features. So what are those geographical features? So to learn about the relief features of the ocean floor. Then to study about the movement of ocean water. So ocean water, it is not static. It is always moving. Because earth is rotating on its own axis. So water body in earth, it is also, especially ocean water, it is also in movement. So to understand about the movement of ocean water. Then to learn about marine resources and the need for conservation. So since 2/3 of the earth surface is covered with ocean water, it includes various resources, so marine resources. So we have to preserve it, so we have to conserve it. So first learn about the marine resources and the need for conservation. So learning objectives. So what are you going to learn from this lesson? To understand the importance of water, then to learn about the nature, uses and distribution of fresh and salt water, then to understand the relief features of the ocean floor, then to study about the movement of ocean water, then to learn about the marine resources and the need for conservation. So importance of water, then nature, uses and distribution of fresh and salt water, then relief features, so the geographical features of the ocean floor, then so the movement of ocean water, then finally about marine resources and the need for conservation of these resources and also the ocean water. Okay, introduction. So we know our planet Earth consists of 4 spheres. So what are they? Lithosphere, atmosphere, hydrosphere and biosphere. So in early chapters, in early unit, we discussed about lithosphere. First 2 lessons we discussed about lithosphere, exogenetic process and endogenetic process. Then we discussed about atmosphere in 3rd unit. So in this unit we discussed about hydrosphere, and in the next unit we will discuss about biosphere. So the living sphere of Earth. So already we discussed about the land surface, the lithosphere, and atmosphere. So the air that covers the Earth surface, we discuss about atmosphere. So today's class, in today's lesson, we will discuss about hydrosphere, so the water surface of the Earth. In the next unit, we will discuss about biosphere. So biosphere, so the living creature, so the living organisms that live in all the 3 spheres: lithosphere, atmosphere, hydrosphere. So today we will discuss about hydrosphere. Okay, hydrosphere, one of the most indispensable natural resources. So indispensable means absolutely necessary. So one of the most absolutely necessary natural resources on Earth is water. The Earth is also called as blue planet. So the Earth is also called as blue planet because it holds water in abundance and thus stand unique among all other planets. So one of the most important feature of Earth is it has water. So the Earth is also called as blue planet because it holds water in abundance, in large number, and thus stand unique among all other planets. So thus stand special among all other planets. So hydrosphere consists of water in various forms found on the Earth. So hydrosphere consists of water in various forms found on Earth. Over 97% of the water on Earth's surface is confined to oceans. So the water body, so over 90% is in ocean. So less than 3% of water is held on land as glaciers, ice cap, groundwater, rivers, lakes, and also water vapor in air. So nearly 97% in ocean. So remaining 3%, so that is the fresh water. So 3% water is in the form of glaciers or ice cap, groundwater, rivers, lakes, and also water vapor in air. Okay, so hydrosphere. So one of the most necessary natural resources on Earth is water. So the Earth is also called as blue planet because it holds water in large amount and thus stand a special planet among all other planets. So hydrosphere means it consists of water in various forms found on the Earth. So over 90% of the water on Earth's surface is in ocean. So remaining 3% is held on land as glaciers, ice cap, groundwater, rivers, lakes, and also as water vapor in air. So hydrological cycle. So what is meant by hydrological cycle? So the earth water is not static, so not at rest. It is always in motion. So the earth's water is not static. It is always in motion. So this continuous movement of water on, above and below the earth's surface is called the hydrological cycle. So the continuous movement of water on, above and below the earth's surface is called as the hydrological cycle. So the 3 major processes involved in the water cycle are evaporation. So evaporation means water get evaporated as air. Condensation. So condensation means so the evaporated water vapor so became solid in nature. So become solid in nature. Then precipitation. So the solid form, so the cloud, so return back to earth as rainwater. So return back to earth as rainwater in the form of precipitation. Okay, so the earth water is not static; it is always in motion. So this continuous movement of water on, above and below the earth surface is called the hydrological cycle. The three major processes involved in the water cycle are evaporation, condensation and precipitation. So water changes its form constantly. So water changes its form constantly. So that is ice, water and water vapor. So through evaporation it formed as water vapor. Then in evaporation it forms like a ice. So or like a cloud. Then precipitation, so return back to earth as water. So water droplets. So this process happens in the blink of an eye or even over millions of years. So this process take within a second. So just blinking of eyes or over a million of years. So water resources of the earth can be classified as fresh water and salt water. So water resources of the earth can be broadly divided into fresh water and salt water. So hydrological cycle, the earth water is not static, it is always in motion. So this movement of water on, above and below the earth surface is called hydrological cycle. So the three major processes involved in the water cycle are evaporation, condensation and precipitation. So water changes its form constantly, that is ice, water and water vapor. This process happens within a second, that is in the blink of an eye or even over millions of years. So water resources of the earth can be classified into two types. So fresh water, then salt water. So first fresh water. So which is considered to be the purest form of water? Rainwater. So rainwater is considered to be the purest form of water. Why? Because it contains very less proportion of salt when compared to ocean and seas. So rainwater is considered to be the purest form of water because it contains very less proportion of salt when compared to ocean and seas. So do you think why the ocean water is more salty when compared to any other water body in earth? Do you have any idea? So the river water, so they finally merge with the ocean only. So the river water, what they did means they collect various minerals and salts on the land surface and deposit it in the ocean. So during evaporation process, only the water vapor get evaporated to form clouds, leaving the minerals and salt in the ocean floor itself. So since this process it taking place more than millions of years, so lot of years. So there are number of salt, so there are number of minerals that get deposited in the ocean floor. So the ocean floor become salty. So during the evaporation process, the water evaporate, leaving the minerals and salt in the ocean floor itself. This process is getting repeated for millions of years. So that's why the ocean water is salty. Okay, so a major part of fresh water is found in the frozen state in the form of ice cap and glaciers. So rainwater is considered to be purest form of water, because it contains very less proportion of salt when compared to ocean and seas. So that's why it is called as fresh water. A major part of fresh water is found in the frozen state, so as in the form of ice cap and glaciers. Around 1% of it is found in the liquid state as rivers, streams, lakes, ponds, etc. So around 1% of it is found in liquid state as rivers, streams, lakes, ponds, etc. So surface water may also penetrate through porous rock. So porous means it allow water to pass through it. So surface water may also penetrate through porous rock and gets collected beneath the earth surface. So this is called groundwater. So we dig well and put bore to get water. So that is the groundwater. So the surface water may also penetrate through porous rock and gets collected beneath the earth surface. So this is called groundwater. So fresh water, rainwater is considered to be the purest form of rainwater, purest form of fresh water, as it contains very less proportion of salt when compared to ocean and seas. So hence it is called as fresh water. A major part of fresh water is found in the frozen state in the form of ice and glaciers. Around 1% of it is found in the liquid stage as rivers, streams, lakes, ponds, etc. So surface water may also penetrate through porous rock and gets collected beneath the earth surface. So this is called as groundwater. So have you heard about the country Finland? Yeah, it is in the north of Europe continent. Yeah. So Finland is known as the land of thousand lake. Yeah, so Finland is called as land of thousand lake because there are 1,87,888 lakhs in Finland. Yeah, so Finland is known as land of thousand lake. So because there are 1,87,888 lakes in Finland. Oceans. So the remaining 91% of earth water surface is filled with ocean. So the continent and ocean are however not evenly distributed in the north and south hemisphere. So the continent and oceans are however not evenly distributed in the northern and southern hemisphere. So the northern hemisphere hold 61% of the land, whereas the southern hemisphere hold 81% of water. So northern hemisphere hold 61% of the land, while the southern hemisphere hold 81% of water. So if you see in the world map, so only in the north side you can find the most of the continent and countries. But in the south side, so below the equator, so above the equator, you can find more the land surface in large number, in large area, while in the south of equator, you can find water bodies only in large number, so large area. It is because of this pattern of land and water distribution, the northern hemisphere is called as the land hemisphere, and the southern hemisphere is called as the water hemisphere. So the northern hemisphere is called as the land hemisphere, and the southern hemisphere is called as the water hemisphere. So oceans and seas are considered as the resource bowl of the earth because of the immense, so large number of availability of food, minerals, etc. And also present distribution of world's ocean and major seas are shown in map. So the distribution of world ocean and major seas are seen in this map. So see this map. So oceans and seas are considered as the resource bowl of the earth because of the immense availability of food, minerals, etc. So the continent and oceans are however not evenly distributed in the northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere. So northern hemisphere hold 61% of the land, so that's why it was called as land hemisphere, and southern hemisphere hold 18% of water, so that's why it was called as water hemisphere. So oceans and seas are considered as the resource bowl of the earth because of the immense availability of food, minerals, etc. So who was she? So she was Sylvia Earle. So she is a famous American oceanographer. So she is a famous American oceanographer. She was named as the first hero for the planet by the Time magazine. So Time, one of the famous magazine. So for her efforts towards marine life protection. So Sylvia Earle is a famous American oceanographer. So oceanographer means oceanography, so branch of science deals with the physical and biological property and phenomenon of sea. So oceanographer, so she studies about the physical and biological future of ocean. So she was named as the first hero for the planet by Time magazine for her effort towards marine life protection. Then Jacques Cousteau, so he was a famous French ocean explorer who conducted extensive undersea investigation. So Jacques Cousteau, so he was a famous French ocean explorer who conducted extensive undersea investigation. He belonged to the information service of the French Navy and was sent on mission to Shanghai and Japan between the year 1935 to 1938 and in the USSR in 1939. So Jacques Cousteau, so he was a famous French ocean explorer who conducted a large number of undersea investigations. He belonged to the information service of the French Navy and he was sent on missions to Shanghai and Japan and in USSR. So he was honored with awards like Cross of War. So one of the major award given to the brave soldiers. Then US Presidential Medal of Freedom. So Cross of War, which was given in the year 1945. So for his effort between the years 1939 to 1945. So for his contribution between the year 1939 to 1945, during Second World War time. So you will learn about Second World War in 10th standard. Then US Presidential Medal of Freedom in the year 1985. So Sylvia Earle, a famous American oceanographer, so got the title Hero for the Planet by Time magazine. Then Jacques Yves Cousteau, a French ocean explorer, so for his service, so for his undersea investigation, he was honored with the Cross of War, then US Presidential Medal of Freedom. So relief of the ocean floor. So the ocean floor consists of various geographical features. So the ocean basins are characterized by the following major relief. So continental shelf, continental slope, continental rise, the deep sea plain or abyssal plain, oceanic deep and oceanic ridge. So continental shelf, continental slope, then continental rise. So they are present in continental crust. So do you know? So the crust of the earth is divided as oceanic crust and continental crust. So the water body, so in the ocean, so the ocean will stand on the ocean floor, and it also includes and it also extends up to the continental region. So that is in continental shelf, continental slope, continental rise. So from continental shelf itself, so the ocean water was found. So next to continental shelf was continental slope, then continental rise, then deep sea plain or abyssal plain, oceanic deep, then oceanic ridge. We will discuss one by one. Introduction. So we know our planet Earth consists of 4 spheres. So what are they? Lithosphere, atmosphere, hydrosphere and biosphere. So in early chapters, in early unit, we discussed about lithosphere. First 2 lessons we discussed about lithosphere, exogenetic process and endogenetic process. Then we discussed about atmosphere in 3rd unit. So in this unit we discussed about hydrosphere, and in the next unit we will discuss about biosphere. So the living sphere of earth. So already we discussed about the land surface, the lithosphere, and atmosphere. So the air that covers the earth surface, we discuss about atmosphere. So today's class, in today's lesson, we will discuss about hydrosphere, so the water surface of the earth. In the next unit we will discuss about biosphere. So biosphere, so the living creature, so the living organisms that live in all the 3 spheres: lithosphere, atmosphere, hydrosphere. So today we will discuss about hydrosphere. Okay? So next to continental shelf is continental slope. So it is a steep slope which descends from the edge of the continental shelf to the deep ocean bed. So a steep slope which descends from the edge of the continental shelf to the deep ocean bed is called the continental slope. It forms a boundary between the continental crust and the oceanic crust. So continental slope forms the boundary between continental crust and the oceanic crust. So this zone is free from deposits as they are steep. So they are not equal. So they are not uniform as like a continental shelf. So they are gently sloping down. So there are no deposits seen in this region. So continental slope. So the most important characteristics of continental slope is the presence of deep canyons and trenches. So the most important characteristics of continental slope is the presence of deep canyons and deep trenches. So canyons. So canyon means, what do you mean by canyon? So So nothing but a small gap so in the rock surfaces. So in land surfaces you see the water bodies running between two rock surfaces. So that is canyon. So similar structure can be seen in the continental slope. So due to the low penetration of sunlight, the slope has nearly freezing temperature. So hence aquatic life is not possible. So they have slow rate of metabolism. So continental slope, a steep slope which descends from the edge of the continental shelf to the deep ocean bed. So if you see in this picture, you can see. So continental shelf. So it is almost uniform in nature. So the size, it is uniform of a seabed. But if you take continental slope, it is gently slowing down, it is gently moving down. So steep slope. So the sunlight is unable to penetrate into this region. So that's why aquatic life is not possible. So the continental slope forms a boundary between the continental crust and the oceanic crust. So since they are steep in nature, so this zone is free from deposits. Okay. So next, continental rise. So the next feature was continental rise. At the base of the continental slope, so at the base, so at the down region of the continental slope is a gently sloping layer of sediments which merge into the deep sea floor. So this underwater feature found between the continental slope and abyssal plain is called the continental rise. So the underwater feature found between the continental slope and abyssal plain is called the continental rise. It consists of submarine fans which are similar to the alluvial fans found on land. So it consists of the continental rise consists of submarine fans which are similar to the alluvial fans found on the land. So so the river water collects various minerals and salts and other things and deposit it in the ocean floor. So they are mostly seen in the continental rise, because if you take the continental shelf and slope, so they are gently sloping down. So they are gently sloping down. If you take continental slope, it suddenly slopes down. So the minerals and other things, so they were collected. So they were deposited in the ocean floor in the continental rise. So that's why this region so look like some deposits. So it consists of submarine fans, so which are similar to that of alluvial fans found on land. So next, deep sea plain or abyssal plain. So as like in the land feature, so the ocean floor also have a plain region. So plain region. So it is called as abyssal plain. So the deep sea plain or abyssal plain are underwater plain found on the deep ocean floor. So this plain extend from continental rise to the mid-oceanic ridges. So you can found oceanic ridges. So the mountain ridges in the ocean also. So the gradient of the slope is very gentle and it appears as a uniform, flat and featureless plain. So the gradient of the slope is very gentle and it appears as uniform flat, as like that of the continental shelf. But when compared to continental shelf, so they are more uniform. So these plains are usually covered by the thick layer of sediments composed of clay, silt and sand brought by the rivers. So these plains are usually covered by the thick layer of sediments composed of clay, silt and sand brought by the rivers. So these are often characterized by features like abyssal hills. So you can see hills, then sea mount, then guyouts, coral, atoll, etc. So these are often characterized by features like abyssal hills. So you can see hills in this region. So as like in land surface, you can see hills and mountains. Like that you can see abyssal hills and sea mount. So then guyouts. So guyot means undersea mountain with a flat top. So guyot means undersea mountain with a flat top. So if you see the top of the mountain, how it look like? Almost like a triangle, so cone shape. But the guyot means so the flat surface. So the mountain, the top of the mountain is flat. Okay. Then coral. So coral, so the calcareous deposit of some animals. Then atoll, ring-shaped reef or island found in ocean. Okay. So these are the features seen in abyssal plain. Then the oceanic deep. So till now we discussed about the continental shelf, continental slope, then continental rise, then deep sea plain or abyssal plain, then oceanic deep. So trenches are the deepest part of the oceans and occupy about 7% of the total relief of the ocean floor. So trenches. So in ocean floor you can find the deepest part. So they are called as trenches. So they occupy 7% of the total relief of the ocean floor. So the ocean temperature in the trench is slightly cooler than the freezing temperature. So the ocean temperature in the trench is slightly cooler than the freezing temperature. So as they are sediment free, so most trenches are V-shaped with steep sides. So they are sediment free. So the trenches are mostly V-shaped. So the structure is V-shaped. So the epicenter of the great earthquakes are all found in the trenches. So the epicenter, so the main, the focus and epicenter in earthquake. So the epicenter of the great earthquakes are all found in the trenches. Then the last one, oceanic ridge. So as like the mountain ranges in the land surface, you can see the oceanic ridge. So oceanic ridge is a continuous submarine mountain chain. They are made of young basaltic rock formed when two tectonic plates move apart. So when two tectonic plates, maybe continental plate or oceanic plate, or two oceanic plate or two continental plate. So if they move apart means what happen? The magma, so that comes out, and deposit in the ocean floor. So if this process repeatedly take place for more number of years, for millions of years means it forms like a mountain chain. So the mid-oceanic range is probably the most extensive single feature of the earth topography. So two of the most well-known mid-oceanic ridges are mid-Atlantic ridges and the East Pacific ridge. So the mid-Atlantic ridge is the largest unbroken oceanic ridge. So it was found between America and Africa, Europe continent. So the mid-Atlantic ridge was found between America, Africa, so North America, South America continent, and Europe, Africa continent. So Europe, Africa located in eastern China, North America and South America located in the west of this ridge. So these are formed when these plates move apart means, so the volcano, so that is the magma emerge out, deposits the magma. So it take place more than billions of years. That's formed the ridges, the mountain ridge. So the oceanic ridge is a continuous submarine mountain chain. They are made of young basaltic rock formed when two tectonic plates move apart. So the mid-oceanic ridge is probably the most extensive single feature of earth topography. So the most extensive single feature. So the feature which is too much in length. So if you take the Himalaya mountain range, it starts from northern India. So that is in the near Afghanistan, Pakistan region and ends almost in the east of India. So just it run nearly about 2000 or some kilometers only. So just it end in India only. But if you take mid-Atlantic ridge, so it includes, so it starts from the tip of the South America continent and almost covers the entire region between both America and Europe, Africa. So this is the extensive single feature of earth topography. So two of the most well-known mid-oceanic ridges are mid-Atlantic ridge and the East Pacific ridge. So the mid-Atlantic ridge is the largest unbroken oceanic ridge. Okay students, so today's class we discussed about hydrosphere, then hydrological cycle, ocean, then relief of ocean floor. So tomorrow's class we will discuss about the movement of water, and also the marine resources. So hydrosphere. So what is a hydrosphere? So the watery part of earth is called as hydrosphere. Then hydrological cycle, the movement of water on, above and below the surface is called as hydrological cycle. Then fresh water, so which is considered to be the purest form of water? Rainwater. Then why the ocean water is salty. So I have told you. Then which country is known as the land of thousand lake? Finland. Why? How many lakes are there? 1,87,888 lakhs are there. Then we discussed about the ocean, so which is called as land hemisphere, northern hemisphere. Then southern hemisphere, It was called as water hemisphere. So then we discussed about the relief of the ocean floor. So what are the majorly features seen in ocean floor? Continental shelf, continental slope, continental rise, deep sea plain, otherwise called as abyssal plain, then oceanic deep, then oceanic ridge. So in this ocean relief features, which region you can see the major fishing ground? Continental shelf. Very good. So if you have any doubt in this topic, so please contact me. So take your book. So take page number for textbook reading. So take page number 194. Read that heading, continental slope, then continental rise. And also in 195, read the deep sea plain or abyssal plain. Then homework. Take page number 200. Fourth Roman letter. First three question. What do you mean by the term hydrosphere? Answer in page number 192. Then second question, what is hydrological cycle? (193). Then third, mention the various relief features of ocean floor. Page number 193. So take page number 192. See the heading hydrosphere. In that the fifth line. So hydrosphere consists of water in various forms found on the earth. Over 97% of the water on earth's surface confined to ocean. Less than 3% of water is held on land as glaciers, ice caps, groundwater, rivers, etc. So put etc. Then second question. Page number 192. Hydrological cycle. The earth water is not rest. It is always in motion. This continuous movement of water on, above and below the earth's surface is called as hydrological cycle. So that is answer for second question. Third question, page number 193. So the last heading, the relief of the ocean floor. So the ocean basins are characterized by the following major relief features: continental shelf, continental slope, continental rise, deep sea plain or abyssal plain, oceanic deep and oceanic ridge. So note down in your book and write it in your homework note. So do it properly, then read it. So thank you. Have a nice day.